Thank you for suggesting that I steal their lunch session. A lentil salad and fresh fish. I feel so healthy.
Yeah. No, we had lunch downstairs and we were busting noses at Chloe. would have just pretended we were part of it.
I do think, by the way, that because you guys are in a common space, you'll have to put your mic on mute.
Yeah, a little noisy.
Yeah, I mean, all of you, I want everyone on the call to speak. So you'll have to, I'll remind you, or you remember to unmute. But Ben and I think, are in quiet places. And Ben, when do you get there?
I arrived Sunday evening.
Me too. And we're all staying in the same beautiful hotel. Hello, everybody. For those of you who are signing on, welcome. We're going to just wait another couple of minutes to see if we pick up some more participants so we don't have to repeat too much. We have people still signing on. So we'll probably start at about 5 minutes past the hour. We'll be right back. Okay, it's 5 minutes past the hour, and I do want to make sure that we don't exceed the amount of time for this call. Everyone is super, super busy, and I appreciate so much those of you who have been able to dial in. We're, of course, all very excited. Pamela, Alina, and Chloe, who you see there, are all already in Cape Town. They're actually doing this call from Workshop 17, which I think we are all going to become extremely intimate with over the next couple of weeks. Ben and I haven't left yet. I leave tomorrow and get there in time for to see whoever is walking around on Sunday evening, maybe down at the bar. You should all have received the package, I think it was yesterday or the day before, from the incredibly well-organized Chloe, who should have sent both the residency guide and the list of investors as well as we know it as of this moment. Alina and Ben, of course, are adding to that, minute by minute, day by day, which will continue to be the case. I'm sure we'll have additions all the way up through the actual pitches on the 15th and 16th, but we're doing the best we can to keep that as current as we can. What I'd like to do on this call, just so that we have a clear agenda, is I'm going to ask all of my colleagues who are on this call, Pamela, Alina, Chloe, and Ben, to also speak and talk about messages they have for you before you come, particularly items that we need. And I especially want to allow time for all of you to ask questions, which I would urge you to do by typing them into the chat box so we can make sure to answer everyone's questions. If you would keep your mics on mute, which I think most people have done, which is great, but do type your questions, please. And I would say that, the single most important thing that I want to say just before we get into a lot of the technical and mechanical announcements is that, the official program does begin on Monday morning. And we will be starting with at 9 o'clock at the at Workshop 17, and Chloe will talk about logistics and meeting the bus and getting back and forth. But we have a coach that's going to be taking us to all of these different places over the course of the residency. But the first thing that's going to happen is that we're all going to get to know each other, and we're going to get to know each other by having each company do their 3-minute pitch just together, sort of en famille. And we will probably at that opening be joined by some other people, the MLab managers, if they are in Cape Town already, are invited to join us for any event, including those. Obviously, any mentors who are in town. I know several of you are on this call, but I'm not sure, of course, what day each person is arriving, and we're now, looking at 60 to 100 people's different schedules, so we're guaranteed to not know. But just know, as a matter of course, that for mentors, you are invited to all of these activities if you want to come to the starting with that morning session on Monday. If you're not staying in the Stay Easy City Bowl, where all of us are staying, who are directly related to the program, then just make your way over to Workshop 17. Beyond that, we are going to go over now some of the items that are missing, and particularly the missing items that are needed soonest. That is to say, on Monday the 6th. So with that, I think I'm just going to go around our little group and ask each of us to talk about that. And maybe I'll just start. Chloe, do you want to begin with, because you have probably the largest number and the best visibility of the details?
Yeah, so we need everyone's 3-minute and 10-minute pitches. We have a couple, but really, really not many. And it's essential that Alina gets them for tomorrow so that she can send them off to Africa Arena, where you'll all be pitching on Monday.
Right. Now, these are the PowerPoint presentations. You don't need to send your videos. You just need to send the PowerPoint.
Yes, we just need the slides. The reason we need the slides is that because you're all going to be pitching on stage at big events, one of them being Africa Arena, another being AfricaCom, and it's a requirement from the organizer side that we submit all the slides tomorrow. So the deadline for that is tomorrow. The reason why is because obviously they want the event to go as smoothly as possible. So they need to have already all their slides on their computer in the right order. So it's not the case where each one of you goes on stage with your own laptop, plugs in, tries to open the file, and we'll lose time on that. So this is the reason why we need the slides for the 3-minute pitch tomorrow, the latest. There is still a possibility to make changes to these slides for the final demo day and resubmit it again before the final demo day on the 15th and 16th. But the deadline for Africa Arena and AfricaCom is tomorrow. So please don't miss that one.
And just to follow on that, just in terms of your pitches, you'll have multiple opportunities to practice your pitches during the course of the 2 weeks. And so if you ultimately need to change your deck a little bit, that will be fine. Just you will need to keep the deck as is for those first couple of presentations at Africa Arena and AfricaCom.
And then Ben here, maybe just building on that. In my next life, I want to come back into this world as an Excel Africa entrepreneur. I think the program for the next 2 weeks is pretty awesome, and it's packed with opportunities. You know, we've been trying to build as basically compelling of a platform as possible, linking as many interesting parties into you know, interactions with Excel Africa as possible. But we can't do this without your help. So what I would say is, even if, you know, it's super busy, and I know everyone's already kind of packing for Cape Town, but if you can go through the list that Alina has sent with all of the different investors that are going to be seeing, you know, our presentations in the next 2 weeks, you know, do your research on those people. You probably know a lot of those names, and you know a lot of those investors, and so you're familiar with them. But there might be others on the list that you haven't seen before, or that you haven't actually had a chance to look into. The more research you do, and the sort of the better you can, you know, see the fit between, you know, your business and their portfolio, the more effective the introductions, the higher the quality of the conversations, the more likelihood there's going to be that when you leave, you know, other than going to be an amazing 2 weeks of just tons of learning and wonderful experience and network building, but also walking away, you know, from Cape Town with really tangible leads on investment. And maybe one final point on that side is to say that, you know, investors, they invest together. So also the investors that are with us in Cape Town, they don't necessarily represent the entire investor universe that we are touching through the Excel Africa program. So in your research, also look at who they've been co-investing with, who else is in their sphere, you know, that they are working with. It's also possible that through these connections that we will be making in the next 2 weeks, we will also be opening up new introductions to investors who won't be with us in Cape Town, but eventually will be the ones who are actually writing the big check. So really, you know, dig into these firms, find out who they are, what they're about, let us know who you want to meet, but then also dig into their deeper network and see how you can, you know, find those contacts and those introductions that you need, because we want all of you guys to find the partners that you're looking for.
Let me just add on what Ben is saying, which of course is the heart of the whole reason we're doing this program. In terms of a process question, I've you know, been sitting in, as many of you know, on many of your sessions, and I've heard this question. The way we're going to manage the process of contacting investors that you are interested in, who you don't already know, is that we're asking you to please put those requests in writing in an email addressed to Alina with copies to the rest of us. So addressed to Alina Vinogradova at VC4A, and copy you know, me and Pamela and Chloe and Ben, so that we don't piss off investors by having, you know, 20 different companies all approach them haphazardly. And this is going to be true at any point. So if you see someone, and I mentioned this in a couple of the conversations yesterday, it's particularly important that you look not just at the investor lists, but that you also look at section 6 of the residency guide, which, if my memory serves, starts on something like page 16. Since I've been memorizing this thing. all of those corporate partners and investor partners and ecosystem partners. So look through that whole section 6.123. All of those are people and organizations where we also have specific contacts. So in addition to the investor list, look at those. And the same process would apply. If you want any of those introductions that you don't have, please put them in emails to us. Okay, Chloe, did you finish, or do you have some more? Don't you have some more housekeeping things, travel related stuff like that you can say?
So just basic travel arrangements. If for some reason you don't have your flight ticket from me, please let me know and I will send it to you right away. But you should all have them. When you arrive at the airport, there'll be someone waiting for you with a board with your name on it. They'll take you straight to the hotel and just check in using your name. And yeah, we'll all be around. So just drop us an email or a text and we'll come and meet you.
Mm-hmm. Small logistical detail, because it happened to me at the airport yesterday. Even though there was a pickup, they were still trying to charge me for it. Mm-hmm. So you need to remind them that it has been paid. So if they ask you to pay for it, don't. Tell them it has been paid by MC. They will double check and it's all going to be okay.
Chloe, anything else that you, logistics, mechanics?
No, I don't, not that I can think of, but please, if anyone's got any questions, just drop me an email and I'll answer you straight away, and we'll get any issues you have sorted.
And I just wanted to add, underscore what Stephen was saying about the residency guide. A lot of effort got put into the residency guide to help get you squared away and understand the landscape and what we're doing and how we're spending every day of those 2 weeks that you're in town. And so please read the residency guide cover to cover, or at least skim it cover to cover, because there is a ton of information in there. And I think the more you familiarize yourself with that, the better prepared you'll be for what lies ahead in these couple of weeks.
For example, just to emphasize this, several people have asked me if it's possible to know which of the 2 days they're going to be pitching on and when. That's on page 11. And it's in the morning and in the afternoon, the order, I think they're in alpha order, yeah, for each day. And so you can see that. The same is true for the Africa Arena pitches, who will be pitching and when. That's on page 9. So please do look at the mechanical stuff that is in the did you see that, Chloe? Raya said,
yeah, so okay. She hasn't got it. Coming to you now, Raya.
Okay. I also wanted to mention that there are abbreviated bios in the guide, but we are going to have longer bios when we talk about each content session. And we just to emphasize what Ben said, you know, some of us have been entrepreneurs for many years, like I have, and there's no such thing as having enough time. I know you're all going to be busy. I know you're going to all have other demands, but I really implore you to show up for the content sessions. We've spent a lot of time and effort, and I can guarantee you that you don't already know some of the material that we're going to be covering. Every one of the outside experts that we're working with, whether it's human resources, sales and marketing, accounting, legal, biz dev, these are all people who, by the way, are available to speak to any of you individually as well. So it's very important that you come to the group session So if you did want to follow up with any of them individually, you would be able to do so. And obviously, we have all of those connections as well. Any other comments from any of my colleagues? Any questions from people? I did want to say one thing that would be helpful, by the way, and I don't know if this is Ben and Alina can talk about this. You know, Africa Com happens very immediately when we after on Tuesday and Wednesday, and it is a I haven't been before, but everything that I've been told, which is why I would like Ben and Alina to maybe talk about it if they've been before. But this is a mega event, several thousand people, and we aren't going to be able to. Obviously, you'll be on your own. We'll all be there, especially on the first day, which is the 7th, and you'll see in the residency guide which companies are on stage at AfricaCom, which time and day. But we will all be there for those, especially for that first day, which is going to be quite chaotic. So I didn't know if, first of all, you should have maybe Chloe or Alina, you want to talk about.
Yes, let me cover this, sure.
Yeah.
So like Stephen rightfully said, AfricaCom, it's a really, really large event with several people attending, with pretty much any large corporate who is active in the tech space, in the telecom space on the continent, they will be there. Either represented by a delegation or they will have a booth there. So there are endless opportunities to meet interesting, relevant people. But also, like with any event of this scale, if you just show up there without any plan, that might be a little bit chaotic and difficult to get a hold of people that you would like to meet. So again, it's very advisable. So you can take a look online at AfricaCom website. They have a list of companies who are going to be exhibiting there, just to see if there are any corporates interesting for you who you want to talk to see the list of speakers, if there are any sessions you would like to attend, or if you would want to get in contact with the speakers. Also, AfricaCom, they have a very handy app. And I believe each of you should have received your ticket for AfricaCom, and there is also a link on how you can download this app. So I used it 2 years ago myself when I was at the event, and the app literally allows you to search every person that is registered to attend this event, and you can also reach out to this person to try to schedule a meeting. So that will be an opportunity for you to reach out pretty much to everyone who is going to be there. So that's one way to schedule meetings. Another way, if you don't get good response this way, but if there is a certain corporate that you're really, really interested in meeting, and that's not one of the official Excel Africa partners, but you know they're going to be there, we can also try to go via the event organizers, because obviously as VC4A, as Excel Africa, we have a partnership with AfricaCom. So they can also help us to get people to respond and get these introductions and get these meetings. So just, take time, take a look through who's going to be there, and either use the app to try to pre-schedule meetings with these people, or otherwise inform myself and I will see what I can do for you via the organizers. So all the live pitches on stage, they will be on day 1, on the 7th, so between 2:30 and 4:30, that's in the guide. For the rest, also the organizers, they are now doing matchmaking for Excel Africa startups and the investors present at the event. I don't have this schedule yet. As soon as I have it, I will share it with you, but it's probably going to be really last moment. So besides this one-on-one meetings, you will be on your own. So just try to prepare to take as much advantage out of it as possible. So it will be a full day of the 7th and roughly half day of the 8th until 3 p.m. And then we head back to workshop 17.
And do people need to print out their ticket to the conference ahead of time? Should
Good
people
question.
come
I
to
think
Cape Town with that?
I think electronic tickets will do, honestly. I don't imagine they would be that rigorous on printing tickets, but otherwise, yes, let me double check on that. I assumed digital would be okay.
Great. Any other comments from or questions from anybody? We are getting a few through the Q&A and through separate emails, but because if everyone is good, there's no need to keep everyone around. So going once, going twice. All right, so you have all of our email addresses. We're very much looking forward to seeing you, and see you either at the bar on Sunday night or on Monday morning at Workshop 17 for the kickoff.
We'll know, Stephen, we'll actually be seeing people in the hotel lobby before we jump on the coach.
Oh, okay. Yes, so the meeting
Yes.
is in the lobby Monday morning.
Yeah, Monday morning. The time will be on your schedule, but I think I will send out an email the night before just to confirm with people what time that is. But it'll be about 8:30 Monday morning in the hotel lobby.
Yeah, so just to confirm, you do not need to find your own way to Workshop 17. We will meet in the lobby of the hotel and get on a coach together and all go to Workshop 17 together.
All right, well, thank you all, and we're looking forward to seeing you in Cape Town. Travel safe.
Thank you.
All the best. Bye-bye.